Oh, hello, 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 hello. How are y'all doing? What's going on with you guys today? Are y'all in good spirits? Are y'all in good spirits? Let's see, let's see. How y'all living? Trying to get this stuff right here. But I do want to say something. Um, when you get into a situation, you know, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation. Hold on, people. Hold on, hold on. We got technical difficulties. This, every time you look around, here we go. Every time you look around, we have problems. We have problems. Our problems gonna always be here, people. It's never gonna go away. Always remember that whatever going on, it's in God's plan. It's in God's plan. You can never go against God's will. Just is what it is. Um, you can do whatever you want to do, but go against God's will, you can never do. It will never work out for you. I said that. You can go against it all day, but it won't work out for you. So we just have to be disciplined enough to know what's going on. So I'm coming, people. I'm coming. I am coming. But we are still on our discussion. Still on our discussion, people. What is our discussion? We get breaking the grounds up. Our discussion for the day, for this week, is the discipline for staff and supervisors. Okay? So I want y'all to understand something. When you get in a situation, whether good or bad, you must exit that situation properly. Properly. Um, to narrow it down, if you don't want to be at the job, that's cool. Put in a 2 weeks notice. Give the job the benefit of the doubt. Oh yeah, I know when they fire you, they're not gonna give you a 2 weeks notice. They're not. But I want you to understand the method and the severity of 2 weeks notice. 2 weeks notice is the right thing to do. The right thing to do. Whether you're a staff, a supervisor, employee, employer, if you finna close down, let somebody know you finna shut that thing down. Don't just leave the people out there because that's the right thing to do. Now we are talking about the be attitudes. Whether it's a word or not, be attituder, you gotta be one. Whether it's a word or not, be a be attituder. The beatituders, if that's a word, they must be hungry and thirst for righteousness. Jesus said, this is what he said. He said, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. You, as a staff or a supervisor, have to be hungry for righteousness. Hungry for righteousness. Righteousness derives from righteous. Righteous derives from right. All right. But let's look at righteous. Right. Righteous, that which is upright. Upright. So it applies to God, Christ, Messiah, and believers. This is what it's applied to. So if you are a supervisor and you are a believer, you must be you must carry some form of righteousness at your job as a supervisor. If you are a staff, you carry some form of righteousness as a staff. Now, righteousness means uprightness before God. So, how do you have uprightness before God? Listen to this. These people eagerly desire or crave righteousness. Righteousness is holy and upright living, conforming to God's standards. God's standards. So a lot of us go to church on Sunday or whatever day we go to church. Then we are in these jobs creating hell. We're in these jobs creating toxicity. We're in these jobs being demons. We're on demon mode. And then we go back in church, and then there you go. I have learned that when working with a company or being a supervisor, I have learned whatever you do in that company will go back, if it's bad or good, will come back to you. The bad things will haunt you. The good things will find you. As long as you are upright before God in your job situation, look for blessings. It's going to happen. You ain't got to beg for it. You ain't got to ask for it. It's going to happen. Make your judgment with these jobs. Make your judgment with these jobs properly. Pick a job. Sometimes you don't do, it don't come out right. You might not pick the right job. But if you serve as a servant, whether a supervisor or staff, if you serve as a servant, God will advance you. Stop worrying about man advancing you. Worry about God advancing you. A lot of times we worried about how we need to please another man or another woman. Keep in mind, we fail to submit to authority. We don't want to do that, but we go to these jobs, and when you fill out that application, you have just submitted to authority. You fill out that application, correct? Then why are we having so much problems spiritually in these jobs? It's because the teaching of the churches of today, they're not teaching us how to behave in a workplace as a believer. Never, never, ever talk about or discuss politics. Never, ever talk about or discuss religion. Unless now you are in a position where it can happen without getting fired or getting paper filed against you. Always remember there's a separation between church and state. To be upright, to be in righteousness, To live in righteousness on these jobs is you got to understand your place. A lot of us do not understand our place, therefore we having problems on our jobs. Sometimes it done got too far to where only thing you can do is just shut up. It's how you start that depends on how you finish. If you start running your mouth, keeping up trouble, that's how you will finish. If you start being quiet, being submissive to authority, that don't mean you weak. But if you start doing that, the reward is prosperous in the end. The discussion about having discipline in the workplace is very important, and it has to be dealt with as a believer. It has to be dealt with through the Bible. But we don't want to read Ephesians 5. 6. We don't want to read Ephesians 6, 5 through 9, because it tells us that we're slaves and that we have masters. Well, in that time, that's how it was. And that's why Paul discussed it. In this time, it's a little bit different because you're free. But guess what? You are staff or a supervisor or a business owner. And you must rule as a leader, authority. You must rule in righteousness. As a staff member, you must serve righteously. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. Hold on, people. As a supervisor or a business owner, you must lead righteously. As a staff member, you must be a servant righteously. And then you will be blessed. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. You will gain your reward. Just thirst for righteousness in these jobs. Be disciplined. It's for the staff and supervisors. So we're going to stop right there today. I want y'all to think about being hungry and thirsty, not for money, but be hungry and thirsty for righteousness. Now, like I told you, I am just trying to help the believer. And anyone else that is not a believer, you also. But to the believer, because guess what? You're trying. The unbeliever don't know if they're trying or not. But I'm not talking to no denomination. I'm not talking to no cult or culture. I'm talking to a believer. We have to discipline ourselves in these jobs. I'm gonna tell you what happened in my life. Years ago, I was in the church real good, It was during the time that I was going through stuff where I got to a spiritual bump, right? What happened was I got into it with a supervisor, and I told the supervisor, and yes, the supervisor was picking on me. The supervisor did not like me. Yes. Well, I told the supervisor, I said, hey, man, you keep messing with me, and God gonna take care of you. Well, I got called in the office and they fired me on the spot. The reason why they fired me is because I threatened him with my God. Now that I'm older, I understand now that you're not supposed to say that in the workplace. So my God could be anything. My God could be a knife. It could be a gun. It could be a hammer. It can be me. It could be someone who I hired. So yes, that was vague to a Nigerian. He didn't know what God I was talking about. Maybe his God is different from my God. Who knows? But it was a threat all the same. So I ended up getting fired. So what in turn happened, I found out that something happened to him. And this is why I don't do, that's one of the other reasons why I don't do that. Because whatever come out your mouth gets in the world. I'm not going to say atmosphere. It gets in the world. It's a spirit. We have certain spirits. So whatever spirit came out of me saying that, it happened. He had a bad wreck, and I think he lost his life, or somebody in his home lost their life, or something happened where it was a tragedy. Do you think that these words that you saying is not uh, a form of witchcraft when you talk against authority or when you talk against somebody else and telling them what's going to happen with your God? Because I don't know who your God is either. I know mine. And a lot of times we build our prayers upon retaliation, upon begging God for blessings, upon begging God for physical things, and it taints the righteousness that we should have in this world. Don't make those mistakes I made or anybody else. Stop making those mistakes. We must be disciplined in our mouth, dealing with jobs as a staff member or a supervisor. We must be disciplined with our mouth because you can get somebody hurt or you can get yourself hurt. So look, people, I love y'all. Y'all have a great day. Great day. May the blessings of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. I love y'all. Y'all have a great day.
Doggone beautiful. How the song go? This what you do when your money right. Boy, my folks ain't gonna believe it. Lord have mercy. Every time